Hello, it's Colette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here to give you one day late this week's energy forecast. So I'm sorry for the lateness in this forecast. I'm away currently in England. I'm visiting the Duchess of Rutland and currently staying with her for a week. So next week's report will be a day late too. And if you haven't already listened to the interview that I've done with the Duchess, please do. You'll find it on my YouTube channel or on my Spotify playlist. It's well worth listening to. And the work that I do with the Duchess here and on this very sacred land where I am here to do some work this week, I will share a little bit more about that in a moment. But let's get into the energy forecast. So this week, the beginning of the week is really trying to show you a space where there is a particular wound that has been living with you, driving your life forward, that has been wanting to come up to the surface. I know that engaging in conversations with clients and with women, there seems to be a concurrent theme that may have been running through your life. So, for example, if this is a relationship issue, if this is something to do with the work that you do, if this is an illness that has been hounding you, what's wanting to be shown and seen right now is the root of it. What is this wound? What is causing it? What is creating it? What keeps playing over and over and over again, which has dogged all of your past, but in particular at this moment in times, seems to be really bothering you. And that is the work. And I think a lot of us have been feeling this. There's been so much going on within the collective energy. I know that people are saying this has been a really rough road. It has. So why? When you can understand what this wound is, and I would really take your time. We've got until, a lot towards the end of the week where the bigger planetary energies start to really affect us and move us forward. We have got some space to sit and think, what is this wound that's dogging me and affecting my life and creating my life as I know it right now? Once you've answered that, then we've seen that on Monday the 3rd, so yesterday, Aries moon and Chiron stationed retrograde in Taurus. That has a big impact. As the moon moved into Aries, it brings up all these emotional instincts. They are connected to the wound that I am speaking about and the unmet needs that are underneath that wound. So, whatever's dogging you, whatever is impacting you at the moment, there are these unmet wounds underneath that really want to come to the surface to show you and say, hey, this needs some healing. And that Aries energy usually wants to act on it or confront it. It wants to say, I need to do something about this. But because Chiron is stationed, this can expose that vulnerable place in us that lacks the confidence to actually do something about it. So be aware of that, that if this wound is showing itself to you, it feels so vulnerable that you're not confident enough to do the action that needs to be done to solve it, because the wound hurts. It really hurts. It makes us feel weak. It makes us feel inadequate. So that's the kind of juxtaposition, I think, of realizing and feeling the wound. Yet with this Aries energy, it feels too painful to actually really deal with it. And when Chiron stations retrograde in Taurus, it means that it's wanting you to take that deep inward journey. It wants you to reflect on this and think of it. How has this impacted my life? How is it still impacting my life? And what is it creating in my life at the moment? It really will all be around the themes of self-worth, of security, of money, of the body, and really belonging and feeling your fundamental place of self-worth and value. I know that I've been having some really big insights about my value, about what my time's worth, about where I see myself and what I want to do with my time, and where I've been hiding some of the gifts to be more accepted. There's a whole pool you'll find around this wound that erupts as it comes up. So it's really wanting to receive your attention, and I'm asking you to please give it the attention that it needs, or it will dog and rule your life forevermore. That attention that it needs to be reassured with you saying to that wound, I will give you the attention, and I will be compassionate as I give you the attention. So feeling that compassion. What is the wound that's come forward right now in your life for healing? And what has it taught you to believe about your worth? And that will have shown in all your actions. So the questions with regards to this, I'm going to pop into the inner temple again. I will place a load of questions about Chiron and the retrograde and in Taurus that will really help you work into the wound itself. But as you sit with the wound, we're going to come up to Thursday. And when it's Thursday, we've got Venus, good old Venus, entering Libra. And when Venus enters Libra, this is one of her home signs. She feels comfortable in Libra. So that means the shift of Venus energy will, of course, be things like love, beauty, connection, harmony, justice, having, giving and receiving in equal balance. And because Chiron has opened up this self-worth wound, it really asks us, Venus in Libra, to examine what our inner worth is like and how that's playing out with regard to relationships. Are you settling for less? Are you allowing less? Are you in a relationship that isn't, I mean, that could be with work, it could be with your family. Is it not really an equilibrium of giving and receiving? Where is your worth really challenged in this relationship? So you want to really look at there. And I think the big question to ask here with regards to Venus in Aries is, are you genuinely being met? Are you, or are you pretending? Are you genuinely being met, or are you just trying to maintain harmony? And by maintaining harmony, you begin to abandon yourself, your needs, your wants, and your desires. So this is well worth questioning at the moment. We'll also see ourselves moving on Friday with this whole feeling of, what is this wound? How is it affecting my worth and what I receive in life? And then it will start to bring this place of where the sun begins to move on Friday in Leo, and it trines the Saturn retrograde in Aries. What does that mean? So the Leo sun forms a very supportive trine to Saturn retrograde. And what that does is it gives some structure, it gives some maturity, and it gives us some staying power to our confidence, to our creativity. And gosh knows that we need that. We need that because of this wound and where we're realizing where our self-worth is not fully active. So Saturn is really helping Leo with that, because Leo's bringing that vision forward. And then Saturn is asking us whether we're actually willing to work on it, to build the worth, to practice acting away from the behavior that we acted from in the wound, and becoming that new person that lives beyond the wound, that lives out of the wound, that's the person that's healed from or healing from the wound. So you might have to ask yourself, what does that look like? If this wound isn't dogging my life, then what does that look like? What begins to change around me? So this is excellent energy for grounding ambition, making mature decisions, creating foundations beneath all of what's been going on that wants to come in and change the world. it's going to change your world. It's going to change the world. So I think we all need to feel this. What is this bigger thing? And I'm definitely here in the UK feeling that at the moment, like if this wound wasn't operating from me, if I could change this relationship with myself, what might the new world of mine look like? So think about where it's possible for you to give your gifts greater structure, greater discipline, greater devotion. How do you allow your life to accommodate the very thing that you want to do, this gifted part of you? How does it get the structure and the space to actually develop? And I think that is super important, because that will never develop unless you nurture the environment in which this gift wants to come forward. So think about the environment in which you're in, the environment in which the talents or the gifts that you have that you don't use because you don't feel worthy enough. Think about how they're getting space to actually become full potential. That swiftly moves us into Saturday, doesn't it? And we're already feeling this. We're pre-eclipse energy. And the thing that opens the eclipse door, some of us might feel that shadows being illuminated. We're feeling these things are definitely coming up to be healed. We've got the Lion's Gate. And the Lion's Gate is that spiritual portal that's associated with Leo energy, with the sun, and the symbology of the 8-8, of the infinity, of the opening. And it really speaks to us about having great courage. It also speaks to us about being sovereign to ourselves, our purpose, our needs, what we want out of life. But more in particular, about being visible and being abundant in this energy. It's very golden energy. It's very regal energy. It's very lion energy. And all of that stands for that sovereign, royal self that has something to offer the world. So it's thinking about, what is that offer? What is it I am giving out? And how do I bloody do it? So the question is, what am I ready to claim? And when will I stop allowing the old me, the old wounded version of me, to continue to live my life? What happens if this sovereign, more self-worth version of me comes forward? What is she capable of? What could she do? So again, I'll put more questions in the inner temple with regards to this. This is big energy on working on those gifts and those life goals. I have created a course that I will be giving all the information alongside this video. The link will be below, that allows women to create a course, whatever that gift is, creating courses to help other women, to lead other women, to take them into creative things or spiritual things or artistic things, whatever it is. The course creator that I will be developing with women will help you bring your gift into the world. I have a background in education. I worked in secondary education. I developed and designed curriculums for 11 to 19-year-olds. I also worked as a consultant working with curriculum in schools, developing teaching and learning progress and frameworks of work. So this is a deep professional skill that I have, and it's emerged with the spiritual work that I've dedicated to over 25 years of producing my own courses and online work. So I'm ready to help other women really put a fantastic course with progress, transformation, and the real kind of academic outlines of what makes a really good course, and you deliver it well so that it actually works for all your people that will come to do the course. So like I say, I'll leave the link under this video. So I want to end really on Sunday, the last day of this week for you, ends with Mercury entering Leo and squaring Chiron. So we've got that wounded healer coming back. It all really works so well, the astrology, with each other this week. And as Mercury enters Leo, we get this warming and strengthening of the voice. And we need this. this will allow our words to become more expressive, more creative, more confident, and personal to you. So this is the kind of voice we need to get those goals out there. As Mercury squares Chiron, conversations may come up that touch a very deep place in you. And I think what we need to realize is sometimes when words are spoken from us and from others to us, that they can open up wounds. And it generally may not be about what they said, but something that brings that wound back up. So be aware of that. Be aware that this isn't this big, but actually it feels so big in me because it's touching the wound. I think what's going to happen is something's going to be said or left unsaid, and that choice will be yours. But it can reveal exactly what needs healing. So be aware that some things might touch you deeply, and that's because it's meant to. And don't project all that pain on the other. Realize that that pain is coming in full force and exemplified and amplified outside of you, and it's not really all about that other person. So the question I would ask here is, what truth wants to be spoken, even though speaking it may feel really vulnerable, might make you feel really vulnerable. But if you need to say something, you should say it. You really should say it. So this week is another powerhouse of a week, as you can all feel. It's a week of healing. There will be things coming up that you feel, yeah, this wound has dictated my life for too long, and it's time that I did heal it and stopped acting from it. It will have made you hide something. What was it making you hide? It is, with Chiron being there, all about that wound around your self-worth and how you've sold yourself short. Venus coming in, beautiful Venus, is here to restore equality and reciprocity, like that space of giving and receiving, trying to make sure that's equal. And then Saturn is going to bring you into this new inner foundation that's much stronger because it's not built on that weeping wound. The wound is healing, and so the foundation can be much stronger and healthier. And then that beautiful energy and potent energy, and it might drive some of us crazy, of the Lion's Gate is really going to call us into visibility. So that visibility is aided by Mercury, because Mercury is the ability to voice. So lots going on there, lots going on there, but the wound is ready to be healed. It really is. And if that wound is healed, what does that mean for you? Can you voice that out? Can you share and declare what that is? And like I said, those of you that are interested in really coming into your worth and producing a course that you could lead others through, please send me an inbox or take a look at the link below of what the full course offers. I've really priced this so that it's doable by a lot of people. You will see that course creation tutoring is very expensive, but I've made sure that this is accessible by everybody. By the end of the 7 weeks, it's only a 7-week course, you will have the framework for your course. I fully intend to give you the documentations for planning and talk you through, all of you, how you do this course as we go through week by week. Hopefully you'll be holding in your hand, if you do your homework, the course and its content and getting it ready to teach. So it's exciting for me to allow women to learn how to do this in a really concrete and structured way, and also for women to finally get their work out there, their creation, their creativity, their gifts out to the world. This is the week. It really is the week to sign up to that kind of thing. So the course starts in September, when all the kids have gone back to school and all the academia starts again. And so it does for you. So I really hope to see a lot of you join. As always, I'm grateful for all of you that come to these energy forecasts, leave me a little comment, like, share. It all means so much for me. It means that my work carries on. I'm now heading to a figure on YouTube, which will allow me to grow more and start to do more with my YouTube. So please, please like, comment, watch, share. It all helps. It really does. And so I'm sending you much love from this beautiful place in England, from Belvoir Castle and its land. Tonight, I will hold a very special ceremony for the women of my 13 Roses, the Sacred Sexual course. They have just finished the month in the Venus Mound, and I have within a 5-minute walk from this cottage a burrow that we will emanate a transmission of. And these sacred barrows were all about, in the ancients, ancestors and the womb and the feminine energy. So this is going to be a really powerful night for all those women in my 13 Roses. So I'm going to leave it there. Wish you lots of luck this week. May you find your voice. May you find your gift. May you heal that wound. And I will see you again next Tuesday for the next energy forecast. Take care and bye for now.